for Off the Block. I'm Vane Lopez, and we are now joined by Charleston University head coach Mike Iandolo, his first season coaching the Golden Eagles. And, Coach, I have to ask you, you're coming into West Virginia, taking over a program. What has this preseason been like for you?
This preseason has been, it's been a lot of work. I'm not going to lie about that. You know, usually the challenge for a coaching staff in the new season, or the new preseason, is to get the freshman class kind of caught up to what, you know, you expect of them. And usually you have the upperclassmen to kind of help you do that. And it happens fairly quickly, and then you can focus on the rest of the fall, you know, getting everybody up to speed so you're in a good spot come Christmas break. You know, our challenge has been a little bit different because not only have I had to get the new guys on board with what I'm doing, but I've also had to get the returners on board with what I want. So it's been getting 18 guys on the same page. Has been a little bit of a challenge, but I think we're hitting our stride right now, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, so I want to follow up on that. What has been one or two of the biggest things that you have emphasized in your brand of volleyball that you're bringing to Charleston, that you're wanting your team to display on the court this season?
Yeah, the biggest things for me are, you know, the effort and energy, and you take care of those two things, and the other stuff will kind of fall into place, especially, you know, taking over a program and maybe having some guys who are used to some different things, or having new guys coming in that aren't really sure what it's going to be like. Establishing what a top program is supposed to be like, how it's run day in and day out, and what practice is like, and the level of expectation of how hard you need to work as an athlete, and what your, you know, how positive you need to be and being a good teammate, all that kind of stuff. That's been the major thing. So basically, I would say culture stuff, but really kind of focused on the effort and energy that we bring every day.
And, you know, Coach, I want to ask, obviously you've had a lot of opportunity to see this team on film before you took the position, but now actually being with them in the gym and seeing them in person, what's been one or two things that has impressed you the most about this group of players that you have?
Well, from the returners, you know, it was a lot better group than I expected, and I'll be honest with that. I wasn't quite sure, you know, because they had a decent season last year, but, you know, they also had some ups and downs and lost a couple bad games, and, you know, you just aren't really sure. So I was very pleasantly surprised when I got them in the gym this fall, and the level of the returners was a lot higher than I expected. And we've got some guys that, you know, are going to be right there at the top guys in the conference, I think.
Well, talking about a couple of your players, I have to ask, you know, there's obviously been a lot of buzz about your setter, Chase Johnson, played with the junior or the boys youth national team at the 2017 World Championships, but redshirted last year. Is this a player we're going to be seeing in your starting lineup this season? What have you seen from him so far this fall?
You know, Chase, he's a good player. He's a very good volleyball player. He's competitive. He's physical. He's got a good serve. He's aggressive at the net. And, you know, I'm not sure which setter is going to be starting quite yet, because our freshman that came in this year, his name is Diego Villafane. He's from down in Lake Marion, Florida, and he's been doing a really good job as well. So we've got two guys that are competing very hard for the spot, and you know, I don't think we can go wrong either way. And when we get to season, I guess is when we're going to find out which one's going to play first.
Yeah. Now, Coach, I want to ask you about, you know, one player. You know, we kind of talked about some of the younger players, but but looking at another player on the team who was in the starting lineup last season, Max Sensa, obviously had an opportunity this off season to play over in Australia for the junior national team. I just want to ask you, you know, how valuable do you think that experience has been for him? And, you know, do you think that he's continuing to improve his game?
I do. I think honestly, all of last year, being a starter as a freshman, you know, in the collegiate season, and then going and following that up with the summer with both the U23 and U21 teams, and being a captain of both, you know, that's experience that nobody else on this team has. And you can just tell when you watch him play, he focuses on the little things that he's learned are very important from playing at this different levels of volleyball, and you can just see a little bit of difference. He's got a lot of confidence because of that. He's got a lot of expectations on himself and what he wants to achieve and what he wants the team to achieve. And he actually is one of our captains this year, and he continues to elevate his game every time we step in the gym, which is good to see.
And last year, obviously, you guys went 16-10. You were, in the mix a little bit for an EIBA postseason berth. But, this year is the expectation for you guys to be in that 4-team EIBA tournament at the end of the season. It
absolutely is. No, it's our main goal for this year is to make the tournament. And I think that's the next logical step too, based on how last year went. And we got the guys that are returning kind of got a taste of what winning some matches in the conference looks like and how close they came in a season that everybody thought was going to be a write-off season because there wasn't a true head coach. Our AD, Dr. Stevens, did a fantastic job, but, there was nobody doing the day-to-day stuff, and they still ended up having a pretty good year, so I think they got a taste of it. And, the freshmen that we brought in, the new guys that we brought in are all guys that come from winning situations and are used to being at a high level and playing at a high level. So the definite goal is to be in that top 4.
Now, you've created a very challenging start of the season for you guys with some of your non-conference matches. Where are you hoping to get out of those first couple of weeks of the season where you guys are really pushing yourself against some nationally ranked programs?
Yeah, basically just straight into the fire, You're not going to get better by playing teams that are weaker than you. Sometimes you have to based on scheduling, but you're only going to improve as a program, and you're only going to see where you're at compared to the rest of the country by playing some of those teams. And, we're starting off at Ohio State, the first match of the year, we're walking in Ohio State's gym. And kind of our theme of this year that I gave the guys is anytime, any place. And just kind of saying it doesn't matter who we're playing, where we're playing, when we're playing. This is how we play. We walk in, we play hard, and we don't back down from anybody. And so the challenge is we got to do that right from the very first match.
And Coach, I want to ask you personally. This is obviously you have a lot of coaching experience, but this is your first, head coaching position at the Division I, Division II level. What have you learned about yourself this fall as you take this job and you begin to grow the program?
Wow. I've learned that I have a lot more patience than I thought, especially just in terms of getting everything, keeping everything on the right track and dealing with not just, the issues you have with freshmen and guys getting used to what college life is like, but also just in terms of having to deal with sharing a gym with multiple teams and scheduling and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't sure how I was going to react to those issues, but I've learned I have a lot more patience than I expected.
Well, I do want to ask as well, looking at Charleston, starting with Dr. Stevens, it really seems that you have a very bought-in, supportive, environment at Charleston with the athletics department. I want to ask you, was that a drawing point for you, taking this job? Yeah,
absolutely was. Obviously, men's jobs don't come across very often, don't come open very often, right? I think if you pay attention to the sport at all, it's not anywhere like the women's side where there's 50 jobs open every year, you know what I mean? And so, one, that was part of it, but two, then once I decided to pursue it, speaking with Dr. Stevens and seeing the effort that they've put in to not only make sure all their athletics here at UC are successful, but also men's volleyball in general. It was a definite draw. It's probably like 50% of the reason I took the job, because I knew that I'm going to have what I need to be successful. And as long as I do my job well, we're going to be good. It's not going to be something else holding us back.
All right. And Coach, final question. We'll let you go on this, a very lighthearted and way inside the weeds question, but your assistant coach is a former Ball State player, Larry Rather. His nickname was at Ball State was the Wizard of Worthen Arena. Is he really a wizard?
Is he really a wizard? He would probably tell you yes. He's actually a big Harry Potter fan, so he would probably say yes. But actually, it's been a real pleasure having him. we crossed paths for about a year in college, and then, as adults, we've been in and out of the gym together multiple times, but, it's just nice to have somebody with that background helping me out.